Okay, when we talk about injury to the human body, we're really talking about two different things. We're talking about shutting down a sensory system of the human body, and we've done that with the eyes. And then I've talked about going into areas like the liver, spleen, and then we talk about structure, breaking structure of the human body. Today, we're going to be talking about structure, specifically the ankle. Now, this is the first time that I'm getting into in the YouTube series here on the idea of breaking a joint and what are the benefits of breaking a joint. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to go over the parameters of joint breaking and what makes it important. But first, I wanted you to show what a result is. If we're going to go after the ankle, I'm not talking about like a hairline fracture or anything. We're talking about making sure that we have totally decremented the function of the ankle. And so you need to see visually what that looks like. So I'm prepping you right now. We go to the world of sports injury, and here's some things that we get. Now, you're looking up here. Really what I'm looking for out of this is like this one right here. Okay, look at that ankle. There is no way that guy is going to be able to stand on that. There's no way he's going to be able to structure on it. Okay, and then when you look over here, up here, it's a soccer break, which you'll see a soccer break later on today. Notice that. Notice how it's breaking the ankle right there, and notice how it's turning in. It's there, and the function's not there. And then, of course, this poor guy right here. Where is he? Right there. Gotta get better at this blue screen stuff. This guy right here, look, he's holding on to his ankle. It's obviously in the wrong direction. There's no way he can put, any sort of weight on that. So that's what we're going for with this. We don't care whether or not the individual feels pain. We want to make sure that, if he tries to bear weight on that joint, it's just going to collapse on him over and over again. And you can see in all three of these instances, that's what it is. So let's go to the world of sports injury. And this is where we can see, again, humans colliding with humans in a bad way. Physics and physiology meeting badly. So the first place we're going to go to is the world of soccer. And this is a real brief one, but it's easy. Just watch how quickly this happens. It's going in right there. Boom. And you can just see the look on this guy's face down here. It's just a look of agony as he goes down. Now I'll play it one more time for you, just so you see it. He's going for the ball, and boom. Immediately just breaks the structure on that. Okay, so that's soccer. Baseball. Now, I'm going to play this one. The baseball one is, you're going to see it's going to happen pretty quick. Then they're going to show the replay, and that's where you'll see exactly how the break happens. So let's take a look at that. Okay. And pitch, there it is, boom. Okay, so it's broken, but you're going to see the breakdown now. You can see a slow-mo after they assist him. You'll notice, though, he's not getting up. He's not even trying to get up. Okay, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the fact that that's it. His whole world is that broken ankle right now. I'm dealing with it. All right. Now, slow-mo, you're going to see this. He's going to flip it over to the guy. Pitcher's going to hold on first base here. And watch what happens. Boom. Right there. And you hear the whole crowd. The crowd knows right away that that is gone. Look at the reaction, and then he just drops. Okay, that's important. I'll talk more about reactions after this. Next one, I'm going to show a kid in a park who literally just throws himself up in the air, lands wrong, and that's his humans colliding with the planet. Remember, we said there's two ways that the reason we look at sports injuries, because it is humans colliding with humans or humans colliding with the planet. Here's a situation where a kid is colliding with the planet and it doesn't work out so well. You can tell, look, it's the exact wrong way it should be right now. See that?
Hey, someone call my dad, please, eh?
Coming in.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
And again, listen, I'm not trying to be gratuitous with this, but you need to see what a broken ankle looks like. You know, people ask me all the time, why, you know, do you train, you know, what's the youngest you train, you know, boys? And I always tell everybody at least, you know, like 18 at the minimum. You know, they got to at least be an adult. Why? Because of stuff like this. I mean, look at this poor kid. His ankle's broken. His buddy's holding his foot up and he's telling his other friend, hey, get over here. Get a close-up of this. It's just knucklehead kid stuff. You know, but what you saw really quickly, we saw how quickly the kid lost structure. Just a quick flip, landed wrong on it, boom, snapped it. It literally is in the wrong direction. There's no way he's going to be able to put any weight on that at all, so he can't use the joint. So what's important now is I want you to see, I'm going to do a short training clip. I'll go back here. I'm going to do a short training clip from one of our videos where we specifically talk about the ankle, and the instructors are going to go through it and they're going to show how, you know, we sit there and stomp. But you'll see Chris, the instructor who's you know, talking in the video, he talks about, you know, the angles that you come at, what you're trying to get. It's a very short clip, but it's going to show you basically how we kind of train this. And then I'll close out and talk to you about the specifics of joint breaking. All right, let's get this clip and we'll go ahead.
Now we're very briefly just going to look at how the stomps to the ankle that you already know and love are actually base leverages because they're joint breaks. And so the idea here is that when we are breaking it from the outside in, that's going to be base leverage 5. When we're breaking it from the inside out, that's going to be base leverage 6. And otherwise, it has all the same things that we know about joint breaks. I got to have prior injury before we go after that ankle to break it. I got to make sure that my body weight is going to be engaged, so I got to be nice and close so my mass is over the top of it. I want to get a joint that is at the pathological limit, and that's going to happen by making sure that when I stomp, I roll that foot because I want a soccer injury here, and then I drive my weight all the way through and down to go ahead and snap that ankle so the foot's pointing the wrong way. So that's going to be a base leverage 5, and then if I can get Mike back up here, if I come all the way across, this is going to be a base leverage 6 with the same basic rules. I've got to roll the foot, and then I've got to get that ankle at the pathological limit, and then my body weight needs to be crashing down over the top of it in order to snap it.
Okay. Now the reason I showed that short clip is because here's the big thing on breaking a joint. You heard Chris briefly say, we assume prior injury. What does that mean? That means we never directly go after a joint without prior injury. Okay, you want to injure the guy somewhere else in his body. Why? Because it releases everything else. If he's busy reacting to an injury, say a kick to the groin, or maybe a kick to the liver, his whole body is loose at that point. He's reacting to that particular pain. He's not going to focus on his ankle. Joints are much easier to break with prior injury. That's really the secret to just about everything. Years ago, my brother attended one of the classes. Him and all his bouncer buddies came by, and myself and one of the other instructors were helping them out. And we were showing them just a base idea of breaking the wrist. And one of the things we were showing was crashing down on the radial nerve first. And that way it made the joint nice and loose, and he was able to, you know, affect the break. What was interesting was he then went to the MCRD to work out, the Marine base where we came by. And Paul went there to go work out because they had an amazing workout facility there. And there was in the breakout room, the martial arts room, there was a Japanese keto master who was hosting a short seminar. And Paul popped in and looked at it. And it was, this guy was trying to show how to do a wrist lock. And he was, you know, holding onto the wrist. And unfortunately, he had asked, you know, from the group of Marines watching, one of them to volunteer. And it was just this large dude. This guy was just yoked out. My brother knew him. My brother's a big guy too. And they kind of had, you know, they were very competitive in lifting. And this guy was just holding his wrist as hard as he could. And the poor guy was a small Japanese man. He wasn't able to, you know, manipulate the wrist at all. And he was trying to talk through the translator and everything. He was trying to make excuses, saying, oh, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. My brother said, oh, no, I can make it work. And Paul goes over there, and the guy's, you know, throwing the wrist out, looking at Paul, and Paul just comes crashing down on his radial nerve, which again, when you strike the radial nerve, which runs, right along here, it causes the hand to open and loosen. And then Paul just affected it and went right down and just tweaked the guy really bad. He didn't try to break the wrist, but he easily got the leverage on him and dropped him right away. Why? Prior injury. That's so important, and very few people cover that. I don't know too many people that cover that. When the benefits of breaking a joint is everything below the joint no longer works for that individual. So there's many things that there's a lot more information that I can give. Like, you heard Chris talking about base leverages, and I can talk about all 6 of the base leverages that we talk about. It's kind of a quick code on how you can, look at all the joints in the body and realize that it has to be one of 6, manipulations, leverages that you can use on joints. So again, principles are there's 6 ways a joint can possibly move. That's all you have to know. And those 6 movements allow thousands and thousands of different techniques. So again, that's why you want to understand the principles of joint breaking, because literally then you can look at any sort of a joint manipulation and you can figure it out right away. That'll be for a later video. But today I just wanted to show how effective the ankle is. Breaking the ankle is really easy to learn. It's just, putting your body weight all the way through it and you get a huge result. You've hobbled the individual. They're not going to be able to get up and run after you. You can get much quicker control over the individual, and it's just a devastating break when you see it happen. So again, that's our coverage of the ankle. I hope you understand, why I was showing it. Again, I know sometimes I show these pictures and they're pretty graphic and people are, they don't like to see it, but I get it. My job is to make sure that you understand what a true joint break is. There's nothing less than what you saw is going to get a result. And that's always my biggest concern is I don't want you to think it's just like some little tap. It hurts a little bit and, the guy just can bounce back up. No, you have to rip and tear all the connective tissue so it no longer can function, and the guy's going to need medical attention. That is what a joint break is. So this is our first joint break. Let me know if you want me to go more in depth on this because I have a lot more I can share on joint breaking. But again, I go off of your feedback. So please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the notification so you know every time that we put up a new video. And please share this with everybody that you think might want some really good self-protection information. Also, keep the comments coming and the questions coming, because again, this particular video again was something that somebody was asking about the ankle, and I saw 3 or 4 other people chime in and want to see that. So again, what did I do? I put this video together for you. That's how this channel works. All the best.